Hello and welcome back for more solo board gaming. My name is Shuffles, and today we'll be playing 20 Strong. This is a fun little dice chucker from Chip Theory Games, and it is little. This is much smaller and much less expensive than what we're used to seeing from Chip Theory. I gotta say, I'm all about it. This has been my go-to game the last week or so every morning. It plays pretty quickly, about 40 minutes, sets up very fast, and has a really good decision space. So let's get this one on the table and see what it looks like. So this is 20 Strong. Out of the base box, you'll be getting 20 dice. 17 you'll be using for rolling and attacks, and then 3 of them will track your stats. You also get a chip with a chip holder, and you'll be using these to count various things, mostly in the missions deck. And then you get the Solar Sentinels deck. This is the one that comes out of the base box. There are 2 additional decks, Too Many Bones and Hoplomachus Victorum themed. I can't speak to these yet because I haven't played them. I've been pretty enamored with Solar Sentinels so far. Let's quickly go over setup. You'll need your 20 dice. You'll want to separate the 17 attack dice from the 3 stat dice. And then going through the deck, you'll pull out the 4 boss cards with the red backing. We'll set these aside, give them a shuffle. We won't need those right now. You can choose a hero. There are 6 to choose from. So we've picked out Stellar Blade. And we'll go over the ability on that one in a minute. Once you have your hero chosen, you can go ahead and set your stat dice, which I've done here. So we've got 3 health, 2 strategy, and 1 recovery. And there are 6 heroes to choose from. These are 2-sided. 3 cards. And they're all pretty fun. They each have different stats, so it mixes things up a little bit, and each one has an ability. After that, if this is your first game, you can ignore the 12 mission cards. It recommends starting without playing with missions, just kind of get a feel for the game. We'll be playing with missions, but we'll just be doing it on the base difficulty. So that will be draw 4, and then we'll choose 1 to get rid of. We'll have to complete the other 3 in order. So go ahead and set these up. We've got Scare Tactics, Quantity over Quality, Bait the Trap, and Dark Side of the Moon. So we'll come back to those in a minute and get rid of one of those missions. And then the last thing, the remaining cards, there's 45 here. We're going to shuffle them and make 3 face-up piles of 15 each. And that is it for setup. So looking at our missions, we have Scare Tactics. Well, this is your current mission. You may discard 2 non-mandatory cards from the stacks during the cleanup step instead of 1. I don't think that one's a big deal, so we'll keep it. And then defeat 6 level 1 enemies, quantity over quality. I think we'll keep that one as well. And then we're going to choose between one of these to get rid of. So Bait the Trap, suffer at least 1 damage in 3 separate engagements. I don't like that one. And Dark Side of the Moon, end around with 1 health. I think that one's a little more manageable. We can just take 1 hit. We have a little bit more control over that rather than trying to lose health in 3 different engagements. So this is the one that will go away. We'll be completing these 3 missions in order. So how do we play this game? What we'll be trying to do is get through these stacks of enemies. So if we deplete 1 stack entirely, at that point we can go ahead and face off against one of the bosses. We don't have to at that point. We can keep playing against these. Maybe we need some more rewards or something before we feel like we're ready to take on the boss, but our first step is to get rid of one of these stacks. We also need to try to do as many of these missions as we can. We have to complete them in order, so we can't start working on the second one until the first one's done. For however many missions we don't complete, that will add an enemy to the boss fight. So we want to get most of them done if possible. So each round, we have a few different phases. The first one is to activate enemies. So we'll be choosing one of the 3 enemies from the decks. We'll bring it down in here into our active area. And then we'll resolve any skull icons on it. So like this, this enemy here has a skull. If this was the enemy we'd chosen, we put it down here. The skull means we're going to add another enemy. We also have to take care of the red outline enemies first. These are mandatory. So in this case, if this was our setup for the first turn, we have to take on the Plasma Blight first. There's no skulls, so it would just be the Plasma Blight we're up against. And then we can move on into our strategy phase. If this is what we're looking at on our first turn, then we can pick any of the three. So let's say we do take this enemy. It has a skull, so we have to add one more enemy. Now there is a mandatory enemy up here with a red outline, so we'll have to take this one. This one also has a skull, and then we get our pick. We'll have to bring up one more enemy into the active area. So a little breakdown of what's on each enemy card. Up here at the top, it'll tell you their level. It'll be 1 or 2. And it'll give you the name of the enemy. On the sides, we have their health. This one has 4, 3, and 2. And then how much damage they're going to do to us if we don't take them out. So 2, 3, and 3. Top middle section, those are enemy abilities. Those will be kind of ongoing effects. If we kill the enemy, the effect goes away immediately. And then lastly, at the bottom here, these are rewards. So I've got 2 of the 3 icons down here. This one with the infinity symbol means we can do this every turn, once per turn. These little arrow looking things, these are one-time use rewards. So if we defeated this enemy, we can store it up here as an item. And then at some point we can decide, let's use it. So we'll cash this in. This lets us recover all of our blue dice. There's one more icon that's not shown here, is a lightning bolt. Any lightning bolt reward will happen as soon as we kill the enemy. After we activate enemies, we'll go ahead and move into our first strategy phase. Looking at our character here, we have a 2 stat for strategy, so we actually get to do all this stuff twice. So the first thing we'll do is commit a number of dice. So if we're just up against one enemy with 3 health, maybe we want to roll a couple good dice and medium dice. We think that's enough. We'll have a second chance to take them out since we have a 2 strategy. So we're going to commit our dice, then we're going to roll them, and then we'll apply hits as needed. So we got 2 hits here. He's got 3 health. So we need to defeat this enemy if we want to survive, since we only have 3 health, and they'll be doing 3 damage. So let's go ahead and use our red dice just to go ahead and lock this one in. Okay, so we've rolled 4 hits. So we've defeated this enemy. So after we've depleted our strategy phases, we have 2. We've already rolled twice. We're done with our strategy phases. Then we move into the resolve phase. So this is where we would suffer damage if we hadn't defeated this enemy. We'll take a look at any after effects. This one says that if any red or purple dice are applied to any enemies, discard the top card from all 3 stacks. So all 3 of these will go away in this case. And then we exhaust dice. This is probably the most interesting part of the game, is that we have this pool of dice that we're managing. We have to commit dice to take out enemies, and then those dice go away. So after we exhaust our dice, we go into recovery. Our stat is 1 for recovery, so we only get 1 of these dice back. Then we gain rewards. So we did defeat this enemy. This would come up here as an item. Just tuck it underneath. So at some point, we can use this item to recover all of our blue dice. Then the last step is cleanup. So any active cards left in the area, so if we had multiple enemies and we didn't defeat all of them, we would just discard those. And then we also have to discard 1 non-mandatory enemy from the stacks. So in this case, this is our only choice. So we'll discard this one. And then looking at our mission up here, we want to discard a second one. We'll have to do that 3 times to complete that mission. So this would go away as well. And that is it. Then we move into the next round, where we're going to be facing off against a lot of mandatory enemies. So we do the Swarm Apostle. That has a skull. Then we could just do the Total War Spore if we just wanted to face off against 2 enemies. But that's it. That's the entire flow of how this works. So we'll go ahead and just set everything back up, and we'll actually start the game. So let's take a look at our hero, Stellar Blade Isolde. We've got her stats set already. 3 health, 2 strategy, and I mentioned before the strategy, that's how many strategy phases we get per round. That number is also the limit for how many items we can hold on to. So once we start picking up loot, we are limited to just 2. So we'll look to increase that early if possible. And then lastly, we have a 1 for recovery. So when we exhaust dice, we're only getting 1 of them back, which is not great, but we do have Stellar Blade's innate ability. So green energy. Before each exhaust dice step, we'll choose a color. And for each die of that color that we committed, we're going to return that number of committed green dice. So for example, if we rolled 3 pinks and 3 greens, we're going to return 3 greens before we exhaust anything. Then the pinks would exhaust, and then we could take 1 pink back. And I should also mention what the actual dice colors mean. All of the dice have 1 critical hit face, looks like this. And then the rest of the faces are either misses or hits. So the yellow dice are the worst. They have 1 hit, 4 misses, followed by the greens, 2 hits, 3 misses. Blues have 3 hits, 2 misses. The pinks have 4 hits, only 1 miss. And then we've got 1 red die that's got a crit and 5 hits. We're ready to get started. So first round, we'll do our activation phase, pick an enemy. There are no mandatory enemies, so we can pick whatever we want. I think we'll do this spider puss here. I like the space sushi loot. Roll all exhausted dice and recover any that roll hits. Since our recovery stat's only 1, I think that'll help. So we'll move this into the active area. And then when we have a skull, we have to add another enemy. And I don't want to keep adding enemies infinitely, so I think we'll take this one that doesn't have a skull icon. Even this a little bit more challenging. So before we commit our dice, I want to take a look at the abilities on the enemies. So this one says a max of 1 die of each color can be applied in each apply dice step. And then on the other one, when defeated, if not the first enemy defeated this engagement, discard the top 2 cards from the leftmost stack. So we'll probably want to take out this one first if we can. And I think we'll need a heavy commitment here since we have to take out 2 damage here, or 2 health here, and 7 health here. So let's start with this. We've got 3 green, 3 blue, 2 pink. We'll see if that gets us close. All right, so we've got a blue crit here. That is enough to take out the spider puss. And then we need to do 7 damage here. So we've got 4 so far. Crit for 2, and then these 2. Although we can't apply this one yet. It's a max of 1 die of each color in each applied dice step. So I think we apply the crit here instead and do it this way so we can use all of our hits. So we need 3 more damage here. We've got these 4 dice that all missed. I think we'll use the red one. No, let's not use the red one. Let's use another blue and our last green. All right, let's see if we can get 3 hits out of this. Just barely. We got a blue crit bailed us out. And then this 1 blue hit here. Everything else missed. But we did just enough damage. So we've killed both enemies. Now we move to the resolve phase. So both enemies are dead. We don't suffer any damage. There are no after effects. This would have been an after effect, but we killed him first. We're okay there. Then we move into exhaust dice, and that will trigger green energy. So we're going to choose blue. We committed 4 blues, so that gets us all 4 greens back. Now we can go ahead and exhaust. So all of these go away. It's a pretty big loss there. And then we can recover 1. So we'll take a pink back. We're going to gain 2 pieces of loot here. So we just gained Missile Stinger. It says, while the exhausted area contains 8 or more dice, hits on blues deal 2 damage. Doesn't help us much right now because we don't have any blues left. But this one could get us some blues back. Roll all exhausted dice and recover any that roll hits. I think we'll wait until we have more exhausted dice to use this one. So we'll hang on to these. We're already at our item limit of 2. So now we move into cleanup. We defeated all the enemies, so there's nothing down here to discard. And then we'll pick one of these to discard. Our Scare Tactics mission says we can discard 2 non-mandatory cards during the cleanup step instead of 1. We have to do that 3 times to complete the mission. So we'll go ahead and start this round. I'm going to get rid of this one. And I want this ability, so we're going to get rid of this one. All right, and we'll move our counter up to 1. Do that 2 more times to get our first mission done. That's it for the first round. So we're ready to move into activation again. And we have mandatory enemies, so we'll be doing this one. Total War Spore. This one has a dangerous after effect. Roll the 3 weakest dice committed this engagement. If you roll at least 2 hits, banish a purple. So the purple, it's banished, not exhaust. So the purple would be gone for the whole game. So I think we'll want to roll some yellows against this one. All right, let's roll these and we'll see where we're at. 7 dice. A lot of bad ones. Oh, wow. All right, that's not great. Not a great start. 0 hits. All right, so let's be a little more aggressive here. And hope for some hits this time. That's better. I think that's enough. We got crit here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're in good shape now. There's a lot of dice to spend, but we did kill him. He would have killed us if we hadn't, though. So he does 3 damage. So we'll have to live with it and try to get these dice back. All right, so we've defeated the enemy. We won't suffer any damage, but the after effect, we have to roll these 3 dice. We get 2 hits, we're going to banish a purple. And 2 crits. Wow, okay. So rip one of our purples. That is gone for the game. Not a great start. We did roll 3 yellows. So we'll get our 3 greens back. And then everything else exhausts. And we get to recover 1 dice. So I think this would be a good time to use our loot. So I may leave that red one in there, knowing that we'll get it back with space sushi. So let's take a blue back instead. And let's go ahead and burn our loot. So we're going to roll all of these dice. Anything that rolls a hit, we get back. Let's hope for some hits. I've got a bunch of hits, so these 3 are still exhausted, but we get everything else back, so that was nice. Still in pretty good shape. We also freed up a spot if we want to take this reward. So it says -1 to recovery. Recovery can't go below 1. So I think it's kind of free to take this. So we'll do that. This lets us return all of our committed misses at the end of each strategy phase. All right, moving on to cleanup. We have no enemies to discard here, so we'll just take 2 off the top of these stacks. So this one is less important now. Recover 2 dice. We've got most of our dice active right now. We'll get rid of this. And 1 more. The Solar Sim would give us 3 more health, which would be nice. We do have a mission later on, though, to end a round with 1 health. So I think we'll still get rid of this. The reason being is we definitely want this. This loot lets us increase our strategy to 3. And then this one is an increase of recovery by 1. So we want both of those. We're going to get rid of the Slaying Mandas here. And we'll take our counter up to 2. Almost got the first mission completed. Let's move into activation again. So we'll take a gamble here with the Flesh Locust. Okay, so there's no mandatory enemy behind him. So we have this one, and we'll do Lost Sentinel. So if we defeat both of these, we'll be in pretty good shape. That would put us at 2 recovery and 3 strategy. So looking at what we're up against, 6 health here, 3 health here. This one says green dice cannot be committed. But if we kill him, that goes away. So if we apply 3 damage here first, we could still apply our greens. And then this enemy, we have to defeat him or he will banish the strongest die in our dice pool. It will be the red one. We don't want to lose the red one. We need to kill both of these anyway to get there. The loot is super important. So we'll be pretty aggressive here again. All right, let's roll these. See if this is enough. Right, not bad. Mostly hits. Got a couple of crits. So we'll start here with these purples. That's enough to defeat this one. And now we can commit green dice. So I think we still need 1 more hit. Got 5 to apply here. So 1 more and this one's dead. This one's dead, and we get to up our recovery to 2. We can also discard a non-mandatory enemy from the top of a stack. I don't think I want to do that. We're kind of blowing through enemies right now with this mission. Although this one's kind of annoying, so I think we'll get rid of him. All right, this one's done. Now I need 1 more hit. Not confident in these 2 dice getting it done, so we'll throw the red in, and that'll do it. Of course. All right, so we got 4 hits. This one's super dead, and that is going to let us increase our strategy up to 3. So, all right. So the only after effect here is if we didn't defeat him, which we did. So now we're ready to exhaust dice after we activate green energy. So we'll choose pink. We rolled 3. We get 3 greens back. And now we exhaust all of our dice here. Recovery is 2 now, so we'll take 2 back. Don't have any item rewards to gain since we've already gained these instant ones. So moving into cleanup, we can discard 2 enemies again, and that'll complete our first mission. So we're going to get rid of this Swarm Apostle. And we'll get rid of this lots of larvae as well. All right, so the first mission is done. Our second mission is defeat 6 level 1 enemies. And we have 3 of them looking at us, so should be off to a good start on this one. The Bee Seeker we have to do, since it is a mandatory. We'll have to be careful about applying too many dice here. We're going to look for crits. This one's after effect is total number of applied dice. We'll discard that many cards from the tops of any stacks. We don't want to burn through the stacks too quickly before we kind of power up a little bit. We're going to roll a bunch of greens and blues. We're just looking for crits here, hopefully. And we got them. All right, so we can apply 2 crits. That'll defeat the enemy. Misses get returned. Thanks to our Scorched Moon policy, although we would have gotten that back anyway. All right, enemy is defeated. We instantly gain 2 health. So we're up to 5. We've defeated our first level 1 enemy. 5 to go. So looking at after effects, total number of applied dice, that's 2. We're going to have to discard 2 cards from the top of the stacks. We want to keep the level 1 enemies around if we can. That's 1. I guess we'll get rid of this one as well. All right, green energy activates, so we get our greens back, exhaust our blues, and we recover 2 dice. So we'll take the pinks back. So for cleanup, we have to discard one more enemy from the top. Kind of don't want to discard this one. The loot here is recover all of your dice, which is really good. Although we might have trouble killing him right now. We're down to 8 dice. He's got 8 health. So I think we will get rid of this one, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. Let's knock out some more level 1 enemies. We've got Drone Alone here, level 1. And as a skull, so we'll pick one more. Let's do the Decedal. So enemies, we've got Drone Alone with 4 health, 3 health here. This one, in each roll dice step, count the number of rolled misses, take the same number of rolled hits, or as many as possible, and re-roll them. And after effect here, banish all misses in the active area. That won't affect us with Scorched Moon policy. We just return all of the misses. So no dice will be banished. This one's pretty risk-free. So let's hold off on rolling greens to start with. I think with the greens missing more often, that may mess up the pinks. We want to try to take this one out in the first strategy phase if we can. That would let us recover 3 more dice. Let's start with that. All right, so we got 3 hits. We have the 1 miss here, which makes us re-roll a dice. We can just re-roll the red one and try to get a crit here. Did not get the crit, but we still have a hit, so don't think I want to apply these. I think we'll just move into the second strategy phase and try it again and shoot for... Try to get all 4 hits or try to get a crit. Okay, much better. All right, so we've got a crit here and then 2 hits. So this one is dead, and that lets us increase recovery to 3 or recover 3 dice right now. It's a tough choice. We'd like to get our recovery up, but we're desperate for dice at the moment. And we can't recover the pinks. So we have to recover from our exhaust pool. I think we'll take the recovery stats. So we'll go up to 3. So this enemy's done. And we may as well try to take the Decedal out now. We can get all 3 greens back regardless with our innate ability. So we'll give that one a shot. All right, so final strategy phase. And we got 3 hits. All right, so Decedal is done. This miss comes back to us. So then after effect doesn't do anything. Now we can exhaust our dice. Green energy activates, so we get our greens back. Everything else exhausts. We have a 3 recovery stat now, so we'll take red and 2 pinks back. This will go away, and we're going to take this as loot. Negate the effect of a 1 or 2 enemy. We also killed 2 level 1 enemies, so we'll up our mission status. We've got 3 of 6 done. Moving into cleanup. I think we'll get rid of this one. It would be nice to up recovery again, but whatever dice we apply to this one gets banished. We'll get rid of this one. All right, next round, let's activate this one, the Big Sucker. Hits can only be applied to enemies in matching colored pairs. So our red is useless. We're going to roll 2 pinks and 2 greens. Oof, 1 hit. Not a great start. I think I'll just re-roll all 4 of them. Looking for a crit. And we got it. Okay, so we've got 4 damage. That will immediately improve our strategy to 4. All right. Miss comes back to us anyway. Green energy gets the green back. 2 pinks exhaust. We're actually coming out ahead for once. We've got 3 recovery here, so we'll get all 3 pinks back. Gained 1 dice, and We're up to 4 on our mission. We're destroying level 1 enemies. All right, so cleanup phase, we'll get rid of this one. Still need 2 level 1 enemies. Okay, so I think we'll do Mess and Maggots here. Hopefully this will get us all of our blues back. The after effect here, if reds or purples are applied to any enemies, discard the top card from all 3 stacks. I don't really want to do that. So I think we'll go ahead and, we need to make room for this loot anyway, so I think we'll go ahead and cash in this item, which lets us negate the effect of a 1 or 2 enemy. That after effect will not apply. So we need to do 3 damage. Let's do 2 pinks, 2 greens to start with. That is plenty. So 6 with the 3 crits. That one is dead. Green energy brings our greens back. This was a miss. That comes back. Thanks to Scorched Moon. So we exhaust 1 pink. We're recovering 3. So we'll take pink and 2 yellows. And then we'll go ahead and cash in our new loot to recover all of our blues. All right, much better spot. And that was our 5th level 1 enemy. So we've almost completed our 2nd mission. All right, so we'll do Spore Seed Seekers. This one's ongoing ability. A max of 4 dice can be committed this engagement. I think that's okay. It's only got 2 health. This would be our final level 1 enemy. So let's do 2 pinks, 2 greens. It should be plenty. And it is. So our misses come back to us. This enemy is defeated, and we exhaust 2 dice. We recover 3. So we're only missing 1 yellow, and then the pink we banished earlier. Again, this is loot. And we'll go ahead and cash it in. It's going to let us flip the top boss card face up, so we'll see what we're up against in the boss fight when we get there. So it is the Mother Spore. It's got 9 health. Doesn't do any damage to us. A max of 1 die of each color can be applied in each apply die step. At the end of each apply die step, you lose 1 health for each committed miss. Okay. Well, that actually works out great with our Scorched Moon. We won't have any committed misses. Actually, I think the way this one's worded, Scorched Moon won't help us. It says at the end of each applied dice step, that's the last step in the strategy phase. So I guess this would take precedence. I think we would still lose 1 health before returning any misses. That's still not too bad, I don't think. It's only bringing in 1 additional enemy. All right, so we still need to do cleanup to discard 1 more enemy here. So 2nd mission is now complete. We've defeated 6 level 1 enemies. The last mission is end a round with 1 health left. All right, so let's get rid of this enemy for cleanup. And then we'll activate this mandatory Plasma Blight. So this enemy cannot be defeated unless it has hits from at least 4 different die colors applied to it. Also, once per round, we can exhaust 1 die from our pool to change a hit to a crit. That's the loot if we do kill it. It's decent, but I think we want to... I guess we could kill it and then let the Marrow Locust knock us down to 1. Let's try to kill this one. So we need 4 different colors. All right, we have... Our strategy is 4, so we'll start with this and see how it goes. All right, we needed 6. That's a pretty good start. We've got blue hit, green hit, pink hit. That's 3. And I guess we'll go ahead and apply the other blue. That's 4. So red, we can count on for another hit. That's 5. We can get a hit with the green. Won't have to spend any more dice. We've got 2 more tries. All right, 1 more try. All right, we'll do 1 more blue, 1 more green. We just need 1 of the not reds to hit. All of them hit. Okay. All right, so we've defeated Plasma Blight. Green energy. We rolled 3 blues. We'll get 3 greens back. And then everything else exhausts. Recovery's 3. Take these 3 back. Keep this as loot. All right. Now we're in a perfect spot to get this last mission done. So we'll do the Marrow Locust. We'll, I guess, not roll any dice. We'll take that 4 hit to get down to 1 health. So I think we're just going to commit 0 to this. So the after effect, if this enemy is not defeated, place it on top of any stack. Its reward is now, during activation, activate 1 fewer enemy than required. Minimum of 1. All right, so let's suffer damage first. Down to 1 health. Got our 3rd mission done. No dice to exhaust, but we do recover all 3. And then the after effect will happen before cleanup. So we could just get rid of this. I think we'll just put it back up here. And we'll get rid of the Berserker. All right, so let's activate the Parablight. Uh-oh. So we have a skull here. We have another mandatory enemy with a skull. And we need to take 1 more enemy. So we'll go ahead and do the Marrow Locust. All right, so got some ugly abilities here. Crits cannot be applied until the Swarm Apostle is killed. And then for the Parablight, each enemy can only have 1 die color applied to them. And we're at 1 health, so we have to kill all of these. All right, we're going to roll a ton of dice here. So we have to take out Parablight first. There's no way to do 5 damage without crits while only using 1 color. So we'll start with applying these 3. Parablight's done. Now we can use whatever dice we want for the other enemies. But still no crits. All right, so that's the first strategy phase. Let's roll these again. All right, 3rd strategy phase. We're gonna add 1 more yellow. There's some hits. Okay. This one's finally dead. So now crits will apply, although we don't need them anymore. So that's it. We've done just enough to take everybody out. That one's rough. So this yellow comes back. It was a miss. I guess we have 1 more strategy phase. We could roll and try to miss this one as well. We didn't. So green energy will get us our greens back. Everything else is going to exhaust. And then we'll recover these 3. We're still okay. So now we gain rewards. We're not at our limit yet. We're at 3 loot out of 4. But I think we'll take this one and use it immediately. And that'll get us 5 health. So we're up to 6. That's our limit. We can also discard a non-mandatory enemy from the top of any stack. And get rid of this one. We don't want to swap out the boss. So those will discard. Parablight will keep his loot. And we'll discard this one. So now we do clean up. We can discard 1 of these enemies. Let's get rid of the Lunar Sentinel. Now ready to activate for the next round. Let's start here. And the War Spore. All right, so 3 health, 3 health. For each die you commit, you must commit all dice from your dice pool of the same color. And in this one, in the roll dice step, misses from previous strategy phases are not re-rolled. That won't affect us because we get our misses back. All right, let's start here, see how we do. This is our first strategy phase. Not a great start. We'll apply 1 hit. We'll return these yellows. Let's try that one more time. Okay, that'll work. So that's the 3 damage we need. So this effect is no longer active. And now we don't have to commit all of the greens or purples. We also get an instant ability or instant reward. We get to increase our strategy to 5. So we still have 3 more phases. This comes back to us. This hit we'll go ahead and apply. We need to do 2 more damage. Let's see the yellow again and 2 greens. Right, there's another hit. We have 2 more tries. Let's roll these again. There we go. All right, both enemies defeated. This one we get to recover 2 dice. So we'll take a couple blues back. Green energy gets us our green back. These will exhaust. And we recover 3. All right, we're going to discard this. It would be impossible to take this one out. Dice can only be applied to enemies if a die of the same color is in the exhausted area. Oh, you can exhaust unapplied hits at any time, though. I think we'll pass on this one. So that leaves the enthralled kin as a skull. So we need 1 more enemy. This one says a max of 3 dice can be committed this engagement until we defeat it. When defeated, if this was the first enemy defeated this engagement, place this card back on top of a stack. All right. Let's do this one. This one is a max of 5 dice can be committed to this engagement. All right, we'll start with these 3. Oh, wow. Okay. So we just killed both enemies. All right. So we'll do this one first. This one goes away. And then we'll kill this one. Right, we didn't roll any greens this round, so we can go ahead and exhaust our dice. But we have a 3 recovery. So these are the ones we're going to take back. Gaining rewards. I don't want this one. We're not at our limit. So we increased to strategy 5. So we've got 1 more loot. That one was red hits deal 3 damage this engagement. And that one's a 1-time use. Let's discard this. And now we've got 1 depleted stack, so we can go ahead and take on the Mother Spore. I think we're ready. We're missing our yellows. We have everything else. We have a ton of loot. Let's go ahead and do the boss fight. So we've got the Mother Spore. They've got 1 skull, so we're going to add 1 of these 2 enemies. We completed all of our missions, so there's no additional enemies coming in. And we'll take the Gutterfly. I don't like the ability on this one. For each crit you apply, you must first exhaust an unapplied hit. We'll pass on that. So it's just going to be the Mother Spore and this Gutterfly. We can take out the Spore, we win. We don't have to kill the Gutterfly. All right, so we are going to use our loot here. Red hits deal 3 damage this engagement. We're rolling a red, 2 pinks, 2 blues. We'll start there. That's the first strategy phase. All right, not a bad start. That is... So we've done 3 damage with the red. 4, 5. We need to do 4 more. We can't apply this here. So I guess we'll just apply it to the Gutterfly. And we'd lose 1 health for the pink miss. Down to 5. Actually, I don't think we'll apply it to the Gutterfly. We're going to leave this one alone. Reroll. Try to get another hit. Roll another pink. And I'm hesitant to use more of these. I don't want to roll a bunch of misses and lose all my health. So let's start here. There we go. We got a crit with the pink. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just need 2 more hits. We've got 4 health now. And we've got 3 more strategy phases. All right, phase 3. Oh, we did it. We got a crit. That is 9 damage. And the Mother Spore is dead. So that is a 20 strong victory. As always, if I made any mistakes, let me know in the comments. Still getting used to this game. This is about my 10th playthrough. Really enjoying it so far, though. We do have the 2 additional decks, the Too Many Bones and Hoplomachus Victorum. Try to get playthroughs of those over the next couple of months. Hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough. Thank you all so much for watching.